Hey, we are here. This is live episode 2 of the Cozy Hearth podcast. My name is Scott Walker. I write under the pen name LA Scott in the Cozy Vales shared fantasy world. Very excited to launch off this episode. We are having a lot of fun. If you haven't listened to episode 1, please do so. We find out what magical hat Philip Sanderson has in his closet. Who knows what secrets we're going to learn on today's episode. I'm going to start off, however, by introducing the amazing three scribes who are joining me today, beginning with Karla.
Hi, I'm Karla Heiler. Live up here in New England, which is always magical in the fall. I write cozy fantasy under the name Elida Denton and romance under the name Teresa Cardella. Um, there's no place better to be in the fall, and my background is one of the places I love to be in the fall. And there's nothing better than fall baseball when the Red Sox are playing.
Fantastic. I will not argue with that. I will not argue with that. Thanks so much. Gemma, how about you?
Hi, so my pen name is G Clatworthy and I write cozy and urban fantasy. As you can tell by the accent, I live over in the UK in the magical county of Wiltshire, and autumn is my favorite season.
Awesome. Well, today is your lucky day. And by the way, I want to live in a magical county as well. How do I do that?
If you can find somewhere with Stonehenge and Avebury stone circles and some chalk horses, then you're onto a good start.
That technically feels like a solvable problem. I'll let you know. Thanks so much. Melissa, please introduce yourself to our lovely watchers and readers.
Kia ora, I am Melissa Gunn and I live in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Um, it is autumn here right now, which is a wonderful thing. Most of the native trees in New Zealand are actually evergreens, so you'd think that autumn doesn't have a lot of colour, but there are enough exotic trees around that we still get a blaze of colour, which I just love. That's my favourite thing about autumn is the colours. I write cozy and cozy urban fantasy and young adult, completely not cozy, and a bunch of other things.
I mean, I'm getting some kind of wish upon a falling leaf vibes here with like, we get these random exotic trees coming in with colors. That feels that feels like the concept for potentially another short story, but no pressure to write
It
that.
does, doesn't it?
So this is awesome. So we've got actually four time zones. I'm here in Pacific time in Los Angeles. Carla, you're on the East Coast, and
Yes.
we've got UK represented, and we've got New Zealand represented. So we're in amazing shape. This is awesome. I love this. It's a truly a global project. It's what I love about Cozy Vales. We're bringing writers and voices from all over the world together. We're going to jump in, however, to today's topic, which is all things autumnal pop culture. So we're going to be talking about our favorite movies, TV shows, books, video games, board games, whatever, as long as it has some kind of an autumnal connection for us. I am going to pick my first person victim. I mean, my first guest. Melissa, would you lead us off with something from that category, please?
Sure. So I thought I would start with the OG autumnal book. I'm holding up The Hobbit by Tolkien, um, which actually my copy has suitably autumnal colors as well, with the orange dragon on the front. And I was thinking about this, and I thought, well, it's a really good time to set an adventure if you're going to have a sort of a medieval setting, because before autumn, everybody's really busy, especially in an agricultural society. I wonder if that's why Tolkien chose autumn for The Hobbit, was because you can set off an adventure once you've got the harvest in and you've got supplies to go with you. And if you're walking through the for countryside, then there's things to forage. Like there's the scene where they come upon the mushrooms, or do they get some mushrooms from one of the farmers? Anyway, there's mushrooms. So that that seems like peak autumn to me.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. And I totally agree. I had not really considered the timing of the book, and I'm very much on board with that theory. I'm very much on board with that theory. And uh, surprisingly, we were shockingly, coincidentally, had an earlier call a couple of hours ago with some other scribes and just a regular Cozy Catch Up Call, and one of them was Elle Stewart was talking about her love for Tolkien and was talking about this adventure-ish thing. So it's funny that we keep talking about cozy things, autumn things, and The Hobbit keeps surfacing again and again and again, and yet I feel like it doesn't get as much love online when people are talking about cozy fantasy books. But I feel like that's also maybe a conversation for a completely different episode. So we'll put a pin in that for now. But I love that book because when I think back to my original Gateway book, I have to put The Hobbit down, fifth grade, sixth grade, whenever I first read that, even though Travis Baldree's Legends and Lattes, I feel like was the quote unquote current gateway book for me into the cozy fantasy genre once it was named. But looking back, The Hobbit definitely was cozy fantasy, even if it wasn't called that. And I feel like that was my gateway as well. So good to see that I'm not alone. Appreciate that. Gemma, you shared before we started recording, you have a whole list, a literal back of the envelope list of
Yeah,
things.
here is an envelope. There is, oh, my background's blowing. Here is a list of stuff written on the back of it.
Well, just pick one to get us going.
I'm going to share a couple of my favorite films that we always rewatch around autumn time, and specifically around Halloween time, which is one of the reasons why I love autumn, because that's my favorite festival. So the cozier ones that I picked out to share with you were Hocus Pocus, which I love. And now there is obviously a Hocus Pocus 2. I see you, Karla, hiding away. It's a good film. You're not going to change my mind about that. And
Shots
the Book of
fired.
Life. Yeah, and the Book of Life, which is I can't remember if that's the Disney one or a DreamWorks one, but it's set around the Day of the Dead in Mexico, and yeah, it's just a very cozy, like really lovely film, and I like the animation style as well.
Awesome. So, okay, I've not seen Hocus Pocus. Do not drag me into this debate. I'm not going to say either way, so I can't even place a judgment here. What about that movie? Was it the setting? Does it take place during the fall?
Yeah, so it takes place on Halloween in New England. I believe it might even be in
It's
Salem.
Salem.
Yeah, Salem. I visited it once. I like it. It's very cheesy, but I love it. And yeah, so there's lots of lovely autumnal colors, and the premise is these three witches come back on Halloween because some kid like raises them, casts a spell to bring them back, and then these kids have to stop them from being evil and trying to take over the town by sucking the souls out of children. And it's quite cozy. That doesn't sound cozy as I'm saying it, but honestly, it is. And it's quite funny, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. And Bette Midler is amazing in it.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah,
Was there a sequel? Is there a sequel?
there is a sequel.
The sequel is not as good. I believe there might even be a third one in the works. But
Wow.
I'm a sucker for it. I love the first one, so I will watch the newest one.
I mean, you're clearly not alone. They would not have made a sequel after all these years. Even though I haven't watched it, I know it's a classic. So you're in good company, Gemma. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Karla, feel free to offer something, including
I will
a
just say that as
polite
far as Hocus
rebuttal.
Pocus goes, you either love it or you hate it. As someone who grew up in New England, the whole stereotype about the witches in Salem really just get under my skin. There is the fact that I can't go to Salem in October always bothers me. But but what I will say is that I am in when I think of New England, I do think of autumn. It is the season.
Mm.
The leaves change here. Apple picking. Oh my God, I love going apple picking. And I have videos of one of my sons picking up the drops from under the apple tree and juggling them.
Wow.
That was one of his favorite things to do whenever we went apple picking.
Well, how old was he?
He was in high school. He was the president of the juggling club in high school.
Brilliant.
It was hysterical. And I have all these videos of him with like a top hat juggling. It's hysterical. But I have always, I mean, the beautiful thing about New England is hiking in the autumn, especially if you get to go up to the White Mountains of New Hampshire, is just spectacular. The colors, the feel in the air, because it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just that Goldilocks zone. It really truly is a magical place to be. And I say that in a lot of ways. And for me, when I go hiking, I'm always seeing fairy stories. Like you see like these trunks with like that little hole that maybe a fox had been staying in all summer, but you're like, you know that there are fairies living there. And I know I'm not walking over there because I see that little fairy ring of mushrooms and no, I know better. That's a portal. I'm not going. Um, things like that. But you get, and then you get to like the tops of these mountains or like these spots on the mountains where you can just see the whole valley below you. And it's breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. So, and that's that to me um is autumn. It really is the heart of autumn. It's coming in and they've got that big fireplace with the fire going and you can just smell the wood smoke and you know, I am a mulled cider sort of girl, so hot cocoa is great, but that's a winter thing to me. Mulled
Fair.
cider in the autumn, that's just chef's kiss.
Love
You're
that.
just reminding me of some time that I spent um, in Canada when I was in Ontario in autumn, and we went apple picking, and then after apple picking, we went up to Algonquin Park, um, and it had like you say, it had the autumn color with the trees, and you climb up no, past a beaver dam, and then look out over the valleys, and you can just see like the mist and the autumn leaves, and um, there might have been wood smoke in the air, hopefully not, given that it was a big park. But when you go back to wherever you're staying, it was exactly that sort of vibe that you're talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Can I
that
ask
that
a
to me is
question?
always it. So
Can I ask a question about cider? Because I found out through a conversation that me and Scott had. So over here, cider is pretty much always alcoholic unless you ask for
mhm.
non-alcoholic cider. So when you say mulled cider, I'm picturing an alcoholic drink. But I learned through talking to Scott that it can also apply to non-alcoholic, like
Yes.
apple juice style. So when you say mulled cider, what are you referring to?
So normally it's the non-alcoholic
Okay.
cider. So there's apple juice, which is thinner than apple cider. And usually apple juice is clear and apple cider is cloudy. And then so that non-alcoholic cider with like the spices and stuff and heat it up is beautiful. I myself also am not opposed to a healthy dose of a good alcoholic cider. A good hard cider is what that's the difference here is we call it a hard cider is an alcoholic cider and apple cider is non-alcoholic. So
That's so interesting because it's the same here as in the UK that we have cider as alcoholic.
yeah,
So when somebody says cider, I immediately think the alcoholic drinks,
yeah.
not apple
Oh,
juice. Learned something too.
yeah, my US centric default mindset was embarrassingly put on display when Gemma sent me a question after. Was it your first short story you sent over? Or
It might have been. It might have been.
and I was like, just hey, like I don't think of alcohol going into cider. Like cider is like not usually not alcoholic unless it's hard cider, and it was like awesome. So I got to be educated on my ignorance, and Gemma set me straight, and it was awesome. So I got to learn a little bit through that exchange. So thank
And
you.
I got to learn as well because I had never, like my UK centric view of the world, I'd never really thought of cider as non-alcoholic unless you specifically say. So it's
That's again, I
fun.
go back to, this is a global project and we've got scribes from, multiple time zones, multiple countries, and that's one of the benefits of having it be a truly global project. I want to circle back to Karla, and for those of you who are listening on the podcast and not watching this on YouTube, she's got a virtual background set up which has a pond or a lake with fog rising over it, and in the background across the other side on the shore It is completely covered with a thick forage of earth-colored trees, reds, browns, greens. It's gorgeous. I want to go to there, but I know what it is. And I would like to have a short pop quiz for Gemma and Melissa and see if they can guess what this particular scene is. And I will give you a hint. Karla did take the picture herself.
Um, are we
Hmm.
looking for a specific place?
Yes. And I will say, should we give them a clue, Karla?
It's a literary place.
Yes.
Literary place.
American author.
Is it near where is it Emily Dickinson? Was she in New England?
She was in the western part of the state, but yes,
But yes,
But it's
not
it
her.
is in New England.
okay. Uh,
It is in Massachusetts.
Stephen King, is he New
He's from
England?
Maine. He's a little north of me.
Okay. I'm super impressed that I'm getting New England
Me
authors,
too.
by the way.
Me too.
But my
I mean,
knowledge is running
sounds like
dry.
a good thing. What about like Mark Twain
No, he was southern. He was in Connecticut,
in South? Yeah,
the
yeah.
southern part of New England. So
I will give you a hint. It is a pond, which is in the name of a particular literary work that references this pond.
there was just a big PBS documentary, Ken Burns documentary about the author.
Nope.
We know.
We're hopping the
Okay, nope.
pond. We're literally hopping the pond. It's way too US centric. It's Walden Pond.
I do
Nothing.
not know
Yeah.
what that
Okay.
is.
See, this is why we do
Blank
this.
space
We're
here.
learning just so Walden Pond, Henry David Thoreau spent, I just learned the exact amount of time. 2 years, was it 2 months and 2 days, Karla?
Correct.
Yeah, so she just shared before the recording, before the two of you jumped on, that he spent that amount of time in a cabin, not too far from town.
Mhm.
On it's called, Walden Pond, and he wrote an awful lot about. It was a lot. I would call it a philosophical work, wouldn't you, Karla?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, so when we talk about like autumnal literature, one of my favorite books is Autumnal Tints. Well, it's actually a lecture he gave by Thoreau. He talks about like the colors of just the autumn. And it was really interesting because it changed how I viewed leaves because he talks about how this becomes like how the earth puts on its most bright colors for its death shroud to cover the world in a blanket for winter. And I never, and after I thought of that, I was like, wow, like he's talking about literally the trees becoming a quilt for the world when you think about what a quilt looks like.
Yeah.
And it just like really that just really stung. Like I was like, oh yes, that's what it is. Um, but yeah, he does. I read that every fall. He wrote a lot of essays on just walking because he was one of our first real naturalists out there, really. Um, and just an amazing author in a lot of ways. I feel like most of his stuff is written to be read aloud because most of it were lectures he gave.
Mm.
His essays were mostly lectures he was giving. So I will go to the pond every so often and I'll sit there and I will read one of his pieces aloud as I'm studying it. So
That's amazing.
yeah,
I want to say, Jem and Melissa, you were amazing sports. Thank you so much
thank
for
you.
being willing to be put on the hot seat with no notice whatsoever. And I invite you to put Karla and I on a similar hot seat and see if you can stump us from something from your culture, your country.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay, you can give me famous author, fantasy author who lived in Wiltshire.
Ooh.
And I know, but well, I know Scott knows who this person is.
Hmm.
Oh,
It's not Tolkien, right?
Uh,
No,
no, I don't believe it
no,
was
he didn't
Tolkien.
live there.
Okay.
No,
And it wasn't Lewis. Oh, I
how
should know
famous.
this.
more
I know,
modern.
More modern.
modern.
And we,
I know Robert McKinley lived in Wiltshire.
Oh, maybe. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Um,
I'm
Like
thinking of
like
a very specific person.
post 1900?
Yes, quite modern. They
Uh, Not Terry
parts.
Pratchett.
Yes, Terry Pratchett.
Oh, of course. Yes.
You
Because
know
he had all
what?
the White Horse references and things.
yeah.
Yeah.
I am not going to take 100% credit for that because that did come up on the conversation earlier. So you know what? I did have a little bit of a leg up. Not entirely fair. I got a little bit of a leg up there. Awesome. I didn't know that. Thanks, Gemma.
I was going to go with
Melissa?
Douglas Adams, but yeah.
Douglas Adams, yes, he references Swindon, which is a big town in
Yes.
Wiltshire, quite a lot. As does I think Jasper Ford as well. Lived here for a little while, but
Awesome. All right, Melissa, would you like to? You can pass. You don't have to. Would you like to offer a question for us?
Oh, I haven't got one yet. Can I pop up later if I come up
For
with one?
sure. Yeah, no pressure. No pressure.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna offer one of my favorite pop culture autumn themed movies in this case that I've gone back to forever and ever. When Harry Met Sally. And I came out, I want to say the year I graduated from college or a year after. I'm clearly dating myself here. And interestingly enough, it's one of the movies that takes place over multiple seasons, multiple years actually, but there are extended scenes through the different various seasons of the year. But again, dating myself, the CD came out, and the cover for the CD shows the two of them strolling along a path, this lovely autumn tree lined path with golden brown, red colored trees, covered trees. And for me, because I kept listening to that CD over and over again, I always think autumn when I think of that movie, even though again other seasons are represented. And it's just a heartwarming film. I love that film. So that is one of my favorite go-to watches. I will say that I cheat once in a while and I watch it outside of autumn, but when I think of that movie, I always go to autumn. Yeah. All
That's
right.
cool.
Would
Oh,
would
I,
pro
I have
No, go ahead,
I
Melissa.
I have come up with something. So
okay.
uh I guess what place does New Zealand host that comes from a series, but also a single book that was turned into a series of movies.
Well, that one's easy. The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Well, it is easy, isn't it? But what do we have that's still going that you can visit?
Oh, uh, is it called the Shire?
Yeah,
Shiretown?
Yeah.
it's not called the Shire. You're on the right track, though.
But it's not Shiretown.
No.
Dang it.
Is it? Oh, am I allowed to guess? This was
Yeah,
the.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Hobbiton? Is it called that?
Yes, you got it.
Awesome.
I really want to go there. It's
Yeah.
on my
Oh,
bucket
it's worth
list.
it. It's the coziest place, and you can go there and like have a mug of cider.
Oh,
Well,
really?
this week Moleskine dropped their first round of Lord of the Rings notebooks, and they're
No.
beautiful.
Now that
Oh
sounds
my God,
dangerous.
they're so gorgeous.
You can't say that on a call with authors. Like, we're all going to go out now and
That screaming, I don't, Zoom like blocks out a lot of the ambient noise. The screaming you're hearing in the background is my credit card saying no.
No. Oh, just wait till you see them.
You're not helping, Carla.
I
It's not
know.
helping. All right, anyone listening to this, readers, watchers, viewers, you can't blame us for any excessive credit card charges related to the Moleskine Lord of the Ring themed
My
notebooks.
apologies.
Please do not send us any complaints.
They're gorgeous.
are we like neutral? Do we need to be like the BBC and say other note skin books are available?
Sure, we'll put in a disclaimer.
Well, it's the 25th anniversary of the movie release.
Oh, right.
It is. It is.
So the cast is doing like a tour, like they're going to all the fan expos across the US. So they'll be doing like panels at all of them and appearances and things like that.
That's super cool.
And I will say the best t-shirt I got for one of my sons, my oldest son. is the old Led Zeppelin cover of the guy like with his hands up and the big wings and stuff. Only it's Sam with two cast iron frying pans and it just says potatoes.
Yes.
Is it a t-shirt?
It's a
I
t-shirt.
gotta find that.
If I
If we,
find it, Scott, I'll grab one for you. But it
if we
was
can
just
dig up the,
I
go ahead.
saw that last year and I like, oh, this is my son's birthday present, totally. And he took one look at it and was like, you nailed it. You nailed it, Ma. Like,
That might even be something for my daughter actually, because she
yeah,
watches those movies all the time, and
yeah,
she loves that particular line.
yeah,
So, anyway, thank you very much. If we can find the links for the notebooks and the t-shirts, we'll drop them in the show
yeah.
notes. That's awesome. Well, we're shockingly, surprisingly, we're running out of time here. Do we want to do one more round of sharing some pop culture autumn favorites? Let's do it.
Sure.
Let's do it. We'll start with Melissa this time.
Okay, so I thought about music and songs and completely failed to come up with any modern ones. But I was thinking that like there's a an Autumn Leaves song. I think it's oh my goodness. I looked it up and was like, oh yeah, that's classic. It's an American singer. And it's really melancholy, and it sort of captures that, oh no, it's the end of summer and the leaves are falling. And I'm now going to have to look it up, which is embarrassing. But so there was that one which I thought was really a classic autumn song. And then I thought, well, there's also, let's go highbrow, Vivaldi, The Seasons. He's got the autumn one. And so I would listen to that again because I used to be in an orchestra and we played parts of it. And it's really fun. It's like got some really gallivanting bits, and sometimes you can find like YouTube videos where it says like, no, the hunters set out on the for the autumn hunt, and for no like describing parts of the music. Um, I'm just gonna see which the maybe that could be another pop quiz. There's a song, Autumn Leaves. Um, I think it's like a 1940s or something singer. Oh, Nat King Cole. There we go.
Oh,
Nat King
yeah.
Cole's Autumn Leaves
Tinkle,
song.
autumn leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like listening to that one. So there's my
Awesome.
pop.
Well, I love, I mean, Nat King Cole's voice is incredible. Incredible. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Let's go to Gemma. And you know what? Actually, I need to look something up real quick. Gemma, do you mind jumping in while I look up something really quickly?
Yeah, of course. I will just say a song and then I'll say something else. So the song that I thought of was "Wake Me Up When September Ends" by Green Day, which is probably dating myself and my music choices as well. But I do love that song. It's very moody and kind of teenage angst. And yeah, I still love their album. But what I actually wanted to share was Karla, when you mentioned Thoreau's lovely words about the leaves and being a patchwork, it thought like reminded me that I really enjoy crafting at that time of year. I get very cozy. I do a lot of crafting and sewing. And one of the board games that I really enjoy is called Patchwork. So I thought I'd share that. And they have a Halloween edition, which obviously we have. So that is a very fun board game where you are placing tiles, like Tetris shaped kind of tiles, to make a patchwork blanket and score points. And yeah, it's just really fun. I think it's only 2 players, but it's quite quick. And yeah, it just fits, I think, with the cozy autumn crafty theme.
I
So you
might have to
said
try that.
board game, not a card game, correct?
Yeah, it's a board game. So you're
Interesting.
placing like tiles that are shaped like Tetris types. So, you know, like different shapes,
Yeah.
and trying to make the best blanket that you can make on your board.
That is the very definition of cozy.
Yeah,
It
I,
really
I
is.
love it. It's good.
So who in the Clatworthy family household, who is the best at patchwork?
Well, it's not me because my shape awareness is abysmal. And it takes me forever to work out where to put these little tiles. So yeah, it'd probably be my husband. And the kids are quite good at that game as well, but it's only 2 players, so you can't like play as a whole family with that one. So yeah, that's just if there's
Absolutely.
2 of you.
Awesome. Again, if we can find the link, we'll drop that in the show notes. Thanks so much for sharing, Gemma. Karla?
Um, well, actually, for me, the music in the fall always goes to violins, usually folk violin. And one of my favorites is it's a really obscure song. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify if you want to listen to it. It's called The Thanksgiving Waltz by Jay Unger. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, and again, the lovely thing about fall is that's when everybody starts cooking again, and it's always comfort food. It's when you're eating your mashed potatoes and your apple pie and things with gravy and warm. It's just your stews and things like that. That's always the best. So,
It's
um,
feature.
yeah. But but it's when the kids were little. I don't know why, but we only played Clue in the fall. I don't know why, but that was something we only played it in the fall. It just worked out that way, and it just became what we did on Thursday nights in the fall was to play Clue and eat fondue. I don't know where that one came from either.
Oh,
Other than like one of the kids found a fondue pot at a yard sale and was like, "What's this?" And I was trying to explain what a fondue pot was and how this was like a big thing in the 70s. And that's why we were seeing them at estate sales all of a sudden. And we bought one and Thursday night became fondue and game night.
fondue and
So
Clue.
yeah, basically.
And
So
it
was this
rhymes.
cheese, chocolate? What were you doing?
Oh, we totally did cheese fondue.
Okay. Okay.
It was hysterical. So
Yeah,
If
because
you like kind of Clue or Cluedo in the autumn, you should definitely check out the Knives Out film on Netflix because that is basically
yes.
like Clue set in autumn. Um,
Yeah, I
so
just recently found out they call it Cluedo in England.
yeah,
In the UK,
In
yeah.
New
Cluedo.
Zealand.
Hmm.
I don't know why.
oh, trademark, I'm quite sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, because I beta read a friend's book that is a paranormal mystery, and it has a reference to Cluedo. I was like, "Oh, did you mean Clue?" And she's like, "I live in the
What is
UK."
blue?
I will not apologize for my Britishisms.
So, while Gemma was chatting a few seconds ago, Melissa's mention about Vivaldi made me think of a pianist who I listened to a lot in the late 80s, early 90s, named George Winston.
Mm.
And I had the good fortune of seeing him perform, I want to say at least once, maybe twice. I increasingly have a Winnie the Pooh brain, and there's increasingly muddled stuffing between my ears. I can't quite remember if it was twice I saw him. For sure, I saw him perform once. Amazing. I'm so glad I did that. But he has a series of albums titled for the seasons, and there is an album called Autumn. They're all amazing, but Autumn is incredible as well. Same kind of a thing, Melissa, where he's conjuring up sounds that make you think of, in some crazy way, some magical way, make you think of autumn. Yeah. So if you haven't checked out George Winston, Autumn, definitely recommend it.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I think that's time. Thank you so much. We went a little bit over. That's okay. We had a blast. Hope everybody else did too. We're going to wrap
That's
things up real quick by asking all of the scribes to let readers and viewers know where they can learn more about you and your books. And I'm going to begin with Karla again.
I think the easiest place to find me is over on Substack. So Karla Heiler, and Karla's with a K, Karla Heiler. It's a German name. I know it's not spelled right. It's spelled very good if you're German. But karlaheiler.substack.com.
Awesome. Thank you. Gemma?
So you can find me on all the socials, but probably the best place to find me is my website, which is www.gemmaclatworthy.com. That's Gemma with a G and then Clatworthy, which you can look up in the show notes because it's a long word to spell out.
Yeah. And we will have links to all the websites for sure. Awesome. Thanks. Melissa?
So I'm on some of the socials, but definitely the best place to find me is on my website, www.melissagunn.com. And I wanted to say as well, I also have a Halloween book, which
Ooh.
was my first attempt at cozy. Just hold it up. It's orange and purple. But it turned out that my first attempt at cozy fell more middle grade than cozy, apparently. But anyway,
And
so
for our listeners, what is the title of the book and where can they find it?
uh, you can find it from my website, and it's called Halloween Hunt, Paw Prints, and Lucky Charms.
Fantastic. Oh, I love that
And
title.
it's told partly from the point of view of the cat.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that too. I write, as I said, under LA Scott, but the best way to find me is my uh, general author website, scottiswriting.com. That's all for this episode of the Cozy Hearth podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for listening. We will be releasing Wish Upon a Falling Leaf very, very soon. Hope you enjoy that. It is maybe the most fun we've had putting together an anthology. I'm very excited about it. Can't wait to share it with all of you. And in the meantime, if you want to learn more about the Cozy Vales shared Cozy Fantasy World, please go to cozyvales.com. All right. Thank you so much to Karla, Gemma, and Melissa for joining me today. See you next time. And until then, stay cozy.